The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, it's Andrew Lampett from Zagile. I'll be joined a little bit later with Sanjeev Nath to handle a little bit of a demo. So again, the webinar topic today is fast, smart integration for Salesforce, Zendesk, JIRA, Confluence, and more. So this is really targeted particularly for cross-functional teams, sales, professional services. However, folks in the engineering team, and other teams, executives are also going to find it very beneficial as well, because we're talking about ways to powerfully and instantly integrate information across all these applications to give you additional benefits like traceability and search and reporting as well. So it's really applicable to a wide variety of audiences, and let's go ahead and jump right in. Actually, before I go much further, some folks, just so we're all on the same page, some folks might have some of these tools or applications and other folks not. So just to recap, I think everyone knows, of course, Salesforce CRM for customer relationship management, and probably JIRA as well, which is for issue tracking, for particularly for engineering teams. Zendesk is quite a popular SaaS application for support teams doing help desk. So it's a help desk ticketing solution. And Confluence, of course, is Atlassian's enterprise wiki. So to give you a little bit about a background about Zagile first, our mission is really all about integrating information, teams, tools, processes, and knowledge, as you see there. We first started along the path of integrating software engineering tools, or the ALM, or Application Lifecycle Management environment. And with the environment that we created called Wikidsmart, that I'll be describing in more detail in this webinar, actually it's generic enough that it's extensible to any domain or application as well. So the company founded in 2006. There you see our partners both on the technology and the services side. I invite you in particularly to look at the press coverage that we received from InfoWorld and SD Times, both quite favorable articles that kind of shine the light on the magic that we're going to be sharing with you here today as well. So here's the agenda we have in store for you today. Essentially, I'm going to have about 15 or 20 minutes in slides to give you the conceptual overview, and then I'll hand it off to Sanjeev. He will walk you through a demo for customer onboarding as an example. We'll describe that in a little bit more detail later. And then he'll hand it back to me for a Q&A and wrap up. Let me go through the rest of the bullets here. So traditional approaches to integration first, things that you might be trying today or have tried in the past. I'll talk about what is Wikidsmart in terms of, first of all, the platform that it represents, and also the quote out-of-the-box solutions that we deliver. We'll go through the demo, as I just mentioned, and then Sanjeev will hand it back to me for summary and next steps. So I'd like to describe some of the traditional approaches that folks do nowadays for integration. And I would say all of these integration approaches have their place, and they're completely appropriate for whatever given reason. You see the approaches listed on the left-hand column, and I'll go through each one of these, and I will recognize that each one of them has a very good strength that you need to rely on. However, categorically speaking, I want to point out that all of those columns on the right, those 4 columns, none of those are really achieved by any of these integration approaches. And this is what Wikidsmart shines in: interoperability, traceability, faceted search, and also the ability to be a platform for delivering composite applications or solutions like we're describing here today. So manual or point-to-point integrations, that's when you download a plugin or you manually create yourself an integration where you say, I want that piece of information over in Salesforce to show up in JIRA, or vice versa. And sometimes that's going to be good enough, especially a quick fix. You need to get by with the solution and you need to move on to other things. That can make sense from time to time. More times than not, though, that is not going to solve your problem, and you're going to have to come back and fix it with something a little bit more elegant that you'll find in the future. ETL, that's really not pertinent in a case like this. It's great for moving and transforming data when you have a data warehouse you want to maintain, but that's really a lot of overload of work uh, for a solution like integrating some applications. And it's not really the right approach anyway. Enterprise application integration or using a service bus, those also tend to be solutions geared towards large enterprise applications where you have thousands of people and information must be exchanged in real time. Chances are that's going to take a heck of a lot of efforts of months to get synchronization done right amongst all these applications. And you're still not going to achieve those things on the right that I mentioned as well. Likewise with data virtualization, pretty interesting more for kind of data warehouse type scenarios or virtual data warehouses. But it's only for reading information. It's not for exchanging information. It's not going to come up with help on traceability, for example. And likewise, search. There's a lot of nice search engines out there. However, they're only going to give you search, and it's only going to be keyword search. You're not going to be searching for concepts typically. For example, requirements or customer or account, things like that. It's not going to help you with these other items either of interoperability, traceability, etc. All of these things have one thing in common. They're going to take a lot of manual integration efforts. And I would say they are all, to be summarized, they allow you things to be integrated. They're integratable. Whereas with Wikidsmart, the strength here is that all the integration is done for you, the developer integration work. You don't have to do any of the logic, and we're going to describe why that is the case. You simply plug in your tools, and instantly a JIRA issue is related to a Zendesk ticket in such and such a way, and you don't have to code that in. It already understands that. So this Wikidsmart solution delivers all these things on the right: interoperability, traceability, faceted search, and composite applications. And you don't have to worry about doing the logic of developer integration as well. So a little bit more about those point-to-point integrations. So they are, quote, dumb, meaning they don't understand the concepts between one application and another. It is simply, here's a piece of information, I want to copy paste it over here. And it's not understanding the concept of what that thing is. For example, it could be a JIRA issue, and just because it's a JIRA issue showing up in Salesforce, it doesn't realize, okay, this is a JIRA issue that's related to this account, or it's related to this other concept or requirement, or what have you. Oftentimes, those connectors are not bidirectional, so they might be only unidirectional, or they're limited in some severe ways. They typically require a lot of consulting services just to get those basic things done. And then once you add on your third and fourth and fifth connector, guess what? You're not achieving any kind of interoperability amongst all of the applications. You're not having any kind of lineage or traceability of data flowing across all the connected applications. There's no way you're going to get faceted search for all of the unified information, and you certainly won't have a reporting layer for all of the unified information as well. And that's what Wikismart's delivering. So on slide 6 now, this is the overview of what Wikismart is. A couple main things. First, it's a hub and spoke integration platform. First of all, for these concepts that I'm mentioning, software engineering, CRM, and help desk. Secondly, it's a template-based model-driven composite application platform. And so we enable these solutions out of the box. Requirements management, test case management, that's more interesting to the software engineering folks, of course, but also covered a little bit more in this webinar: customer onboarding, case management, etc. Whenever you have to have customer information being exchanged across different applications, that's where Wicketsmart can help. So what are the benefits of the platform? I've covered them to some extent already, but essentially it's instant integration, so you're not doing that development work that I mentioned. And again, when you plug something into the platform, it instantly understands how that content is interrelated to the other tools that are connected as well. And this enables smart content, so you have cohesion of the content between the tools and applications. Essentially, this is interoperability. And now you can have new template-based composite applications. Now, we have them out of the box, but you can create new ones yourself as well if you want to create your own solution for whatever other kind of application in-house. and you're able to achieve insightful information. So as you're going to see in the demo, you're able to easily find content with the faceted precision search. So in other words, I know that I'm looking for a ticket, or I know that I'm looking for an issue, or I'm looking for an account. Just show me the stuff related to this account. Show me all the related, tickets, issues, opportunities, everything related to this account. It's easy to do a search like that with Wicket Smart. Likewise, you have lineage and traceability, so that, for example, if you do a search and you say, show me the accounts that I have, in the search results, you'll not only get the accounts, but underneath you'll have the ability to say, to see links for issues, for tickets, for whatever other things related to that account. So you're it's very easy to achieve this transversal, traverse tangentially the artifacts in the environment. Likewise, you can achieve dashboards and reports quite easily. We're going to show Confluence Wiki as an example for a dashboard. You can expose content from all of these systems in a wiki page. And you can create that wiki page with a click of a button, and it pulls the content from Salesforce, Zendesk, JIRA, etc. Of course, you could achieve something else in one of the other environments if you want as well. Finally, this is future-proof. So everything we're showing here is open source, open standards, and that means not only is it free and easy to use out of the box today, download it and use it, you can extend it to other tools and applications in the future. You can either have Zagile, we can help you if you wish, or you can go ahead and do it yourself as well. So let's take a look at the old traditional concept of these siloed applications. So we've all seen this before. Essentially, you have these different concepts, and I'm going to describe with this example the magic of the Wikidsmart platform. How does it actually work? Because a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about with interoperability, traceability, faceted search, and reporting, it all sounds too good to be true. And now we're going to show you kind of a peek behind the scenes as to what's going on. So with this traditional silo approach, you've got Confluence and JIRA and Salesforce as examples. You've got your GUI. You've got the data being stored somewhere. If it's Confluence, it's a file structure. If it's some of these other applications, it's a repository of some sort. And they all have these, at the bottom, you see various concepts and features and logic associated to them. Okay? This is the paradigm that we all are familiar with today. This is how things work. All the applications work within their own domain. Here's how Wikidsmart adds to this equation and adds quite a little power. So I'm on slide 9, and the title is a Wikidsmart Coherent Information System. And what you'll notice is that we put an intermediate layer between the GUI and the data stores of each of these systems. And that intermediate layer is the Wikidsmart context server. That is the magic or the secret sauce of the Wikidsmart platform. It contains this enterprise knowledge model, okay, consisting of several submodels of different domains. One of which is software engineering, another one's CRM, there's some for help desk, and you can extend that to anything. And what's going on here is those little orbs in the lines are representing how concepts are interrelated amongst each other. So for example, software engineers create code. That code has issues. The code also has documentation. The documentation is written by doc writers. Okay? All of these concepts are encapsulated within the software engineering knowledge model. They are mapped to the various concepts of these different tools and applications via connectors. Okay? So in software engineering, we have our concepts. In CRM, we have our concepts. And also, for example, CRM, you have a concept of an account. Well, over on other, that could be Zendesk, and that's mapping to an organization in Zendesk. So you have all these concepts that are interrelated. The truth is always that individual application or tool's data store. So we're not interfering or messing with that. And anytime we talk to the application, we're talking through an API layer. So that's conceptually what's going on. Now, if you look at this from a different perspective, well, first of all, you can look at it from multiple angles. This is acting as a sort of an enterprise service bus in some ways. Actually, it complements service buses. but you could look at it as a way to exchange information, number one. Number two, you could look at this as a way to search and report on information. So in other words, if you want reports or dashboards, you can query directly against this model, and that model will go out and get the information as it's required. And likewise with search, you don't have to bother going into JIRA or Confluence or Salesforce and doing your search. You can search right against this knowledge model. Now, you can do that search from within any of those tools I mentioned, but I mean that what we're actually doing is augmenting that search that's in those different systems, or adding on to it in a different way. So again, this knowledge model, the popular terminology nowadays, people are saying, if you look at Google with their new features of search and other vendors, they're using this concept of a knowledge graph. It's the same thing, it's just different terminology. And so what we're doing is we're encapsulating knowledge for a domain, concepts and how they're related, people and their roles, functions, processes, etc. And as I described just a moment ago, each one of those domains, we have them encapsulated within Wikidsmart for software engineering, CRM, and help desk now as well. So this knowledge model opens up new opportunities. So whereas before we were talking about silos, where Confluence clearly had its own information, JIRA has its own information, Salesforce has its own information. Now each of these applications and tools look like they're belonging to one information environment. So you're guaranteeing interoperability of information flow amongst these tools. You have one source for reporting and dashboards. You can find precise items very quickly and easily. Not only that, you can find the tangentially related ones quite easily as well. And you can answer new questions that were not possible before. Classic example I give is, how much revenue did I generate for that feature? Or how much revenue did we lose on that bug? Those are easy questions to answer now, because now you're connected into Salesforce and you know, okay, these issues are related to this Salesforce account, or these features were original customer requests that we had logged as cases within Salesforce, okay? And now new applications, composite applications, can be created. And I say composite applications because what's going on is we're leveraging the existing features of the existing tools and applications you have. So for example, JIRA has powerful workflow. Let's use that. Confluence is a very powerful collaboration tool. Let's use that GUI. Let's use the workflow of JIRA. Let's put them all together, and now we can create new applications. So what's it looking like from a graphical point of view? These next couple slides show you in pictures what's going on. So this first one here, I'd like to invite you to read it from the top and down. So we have different concepts for requirements management, issue tracking, customer case and onboarding under Salesforce, and now we've added help desk as well with Zendesk. So we have different categories up on top, corresponding tools, and we could have connectors for other tools in the same category if you want. And then we have the corresponding data attributes listed underneath each category. So for requirements management, there's project, there's requirements, there's milestones, etc. For issue tracking, you have project, you have component, you have task issues. Over in Salesforce, you have customer account, you can have opportunities. Over on the help desk side, you've got organization, tickets, and then people like owner, assignee, reporter, etc. So we have all these different concepts, and these are the key items from each of the tools and applications. Notice in Salesforce, we don't put things like address or notes. If you want those in there, those could be included in this list. But let me describe for you what we're going to do with this list of attributes. These are the key identifying attributes for each of these categories. And what happens is Wikidsmart imports that data, maps it down below to the software engineering knowledge model. Actually, it's a broader model than just software engineering now, of course. Maps the data to those to that knowledge model, and now presto, we have a context server that shows how all the data is interrelated. we know now how a JIRA issue is related to a Zendesk ticket, okay? And that helps us deliver what's on the next slide. So what's happening here is we're importing information on the left, capture and integrate. It's going down into Wicket Smart context server. And then on the right, we're delivering a unified view, and we're delivering new solutions or applications called Wicket Smart solutions. And those consist of Wicket Smart PM, QA, ALM, and CRM. And these are driving solutions that we can deliver out of the box. So I'll walk you through those in just a moment here. So on the next slide, we have Wicket Smart PM. That's requirements management within Confluence tied to JIRA. Wicket Smart QA, likewise, is test case management within Confluence, integrated with JIRA, and also with Selenium for automation. Wicket Smart ALM allows you to integrate version control and continuous integration. And then finally, Wicket Smart CRM, which is really the focus of today's webinar, where JIRA and Confluence are integrated with each other as well as with Salesforce and Zendesk. So customer onboarding, customer case management, etc., can all be achieved very seamlessly without you doing any kind of manual integration. So what are some of the features? I'm going to kind of click through these and you can read them as I'm speaking to them. But it's an easy install. So you just install the context server, you install the plugin for each of these different applications, and Wicket Smart's going to do the rest. It's going to unite the environment. We have RESTful integration, and we're, again, achieving all these functions as if it's one system. Bidirectional linking and integration of all these different concepts. For Confluence, we can create a structured wiki page, pulling content from JIRA, Salesforce, and Zendesk, acting like a dashboard. And then you can view this content of all these systems within a customer wiki page, as you're going to see. And with JIRA, now you can create and update issues from Salesforce. You can associate multiple issues of JIRA in one Salesforce concept. Again, you can have bidirectional integration of the content of comments and attachments between Confluence and JIRA and Salesforce if you wish. And Zendesk, you can show all the content from Zendesk within Confluence, Salesforce, or JIRA as well. Now, I want to point out this last bullet point is extremely important. Not only have we achieved all this integration, we've done it faster than you can do it with a point-to-point plugin approach, and we're still delivering searching, reporting, traceability across all the content that's integrated. So this is unheard of. This is not done by any other solution out there as far as I'm aware. So let's talk about the demo, and I'll get ready to hand it over to Sanjeev in just a moment. So I just want to set some general context for the demo, and then we'll talk about some specific things that will be shown, and then I'll hand it off to Sanjeev. The basic idea here is, you've all got cross-functional teams, professional services and support, and either they want to work in their own system, they only want to work in Zendesk or only want to work in Salesforce, or it's very desirable to do so. So that if they need an answer about an issue, do we need to get them another account for JIRA, or would it be more efficient if they could just have that information instantly when they look at an account within Salesforce or within a wiki or within Zendesk, wherever they're at the moment? Do they always have to go into 2 or 3 tools to solve a particular problem at hand? That's what we want to try to eliminate today. Because today there's no automation or traceability, and you have a lot of opportunity for inconsistency. The problem is sales teams, technical support teams, professional services teams, they need to go today within one tool, copy paste some information, or manually link it over to another system. That is just not scalable, and that really cuts at least 10% of time out of their day, and likely more when they're trying to resolve particularly more complex issues. And likewise, throughout any kind of integration that you might already achieve, you're still not getting any kind of global visibility that an exec would like to have with respect to reporting and searching, for example. So what they have to do today is ask their team managers, give me the report on Salesforce, give me the pipeline, give me the, what's going on with the backlog of issues in JIRA. Support manager, tell me what's going on with Zendesk, give me the report there. So now you got 3 or 4 reports that are not really jived together. And with Wicket Smart, you can have everything gelled together as one unified view. And you can drill and have traceability across all of those as well. So what Sanjeev is about to show in the demo is basically these kinds of concepts. And he's going to kind of make it gel together as a story. But essentially, when you have customer onboarding, you've got a lot of different teams involved. So the sales folks, they're going to create an account. Now what's next? Well, either sales or the professional services team probably want to create a task to create a kickoff project. So wouldn't it be nice if that was easy to do either manually by a click of a button or perhaps automate it with workflow in JIRA? And then support. They need to create a case in Salesforce or Zendesk. And then that information would ideally be viewed by their other team members, or I should say the other teams as well. And then wouldn't it be nice if there could be a wiki page to have a total view of what's going on, whether you're sales, support, professional services, or exec. Pull that information from these different tools. If you want to create a Zendesk ticket and then view that within other tools, I want to see the Zendesk ticket automatically in Salesforce or automatically over in JIRA. Now you can see that. And then, of course, as I said before, you can search and report on all the content anywhere. So that's kind of a flavor of what you're going to see in the demo. Sanjeev, how about I hand it off to you? And then once you're ready, I'll wrap it up with a summary.
Great. Thank you, Andrew. Let me just...
Are you there, Sanjeev? Yeah, there you are.
I'll share my screen. Okay, greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us. As Andrew has pointed out during his presentation, the thing that we want to show you is you've got a couple of hosted applications like Salesforce, Zendesk. You've got potentially a couple of internal tools like Confluence and JIRA on-premise. And as you go about executing various tasks and processes across, from sales to engineering to support, you will start to see the information that's captured across these tools that become integrated, and it starts to show in different places contextually, so that it is easy to share, it's easy to bring teams together, teams that are typically siloed within organizations. So we will first start with Salesforce. And here, let's just create a new account. And let's see, I'll call it Acme Soft. So we will create an account here, put some sample data, and then move forward in terms of showing you how this information will flow. So let's see, Acme Soft provides
And I'll talk while you're doing that, Sanjeev. Folks, the reason why Sanjeev is doing this is to show you live that this data is being created, and you're going to be able to see all this data exposed elsewhere.
Great, thanks. So, okay, let's save the account. Now we've created an account. So there's a couple of things we'll do. I mean, now that we've started, with a customer in this case, we can create a task, for example. So let's create a JIRA task, and this would be to initiate the implementation process or review the implementation plan, for example. So it would be a to-do type task. This is an example of different types of tasks you can create from within Salesforce as you want to track whether it's related to services or just tracking any to-dos that sales itself might want to capture. So when you refresh it, you'll see that first of all, a JIRA task was automatically created from within Salesforce. Second, you can now see it back within the context of that particular account. But not only that, you can also actually edit it directly. So here we can, for example, add summary or update the summary just to make it more specific. So here's a task LCI dem 13, and the status is open. It's a to-do, and and the summary itself, as I update it, it will show me that it's to initiate implementation plan. Now, something else we can do here within the integration between Salesforce, Confluence, and JIRA is we can actually create an anchor page within Confluence. So all I have to do is click a button here, and you will see and save the page. The information that has been captured within Salesforce as well as within JIRA will start to automatically show up. So here's our anchor page where there's a description that's been pulled from Salesforce. You've got some contact information. And then, of course, any of the action items. So there's a pending action item, and it's actually red because there's no due date on it yet. So it's either the due date has passed already or it hasn't been identified, in which case you can flag it. You can also create additional action items here in JIRA, maybe other additional to-dos, for example, and those will show up here in this table as well as they will show up in Salesforce. So this allows teams that are not necessarily accessing Salesforce to still be able to view some relevant information related to the account, as well as create internal tasks and stuff in the context of that account. So, so now you can see 2 or 3 different applications together. Let's create a case, for example. So now that we have an account, we've initiated some implementation cycles, we will log a support case. So this is a scenario where you may be using Salesforce for case management as well for your customers. So we will we will create a new contact, or actually I'll just use this one. And so let's just say that we want to initiate SLA review with the customer. We put some description here, capture a type, and what the case reason is, for example. So it's a new problem or existing problem or whatever. And you save that. So here in Salesforce, we have done a number of things. We've created an account, we've created a case, we've created to-do tasks. Now, again, if you were to go back, so let's go back to the account itself. And you'll see, for example, that if we go to the wiki page that we had created just a little bit ago, then the case information is also automatically captured here, okay? And if you want, you can create related JIRA tasks associated with that case, and so that information will stay together. Now, in a different scenario, if you're not using Salesforce for case management, but you're using, for example, Zendesk, so you're managing your accounts within Salesforce, but for ticket tracking or ticket capturing, you go to Zendesk. Then we can do the same thing here. So, for example, first thing we will do is add an organization, and that is Acme Soft. And then we can put some tags here, for example, biotechnology, etc., whatever that we want to capture internally for doing searches. Some description about Acme Soft for that may be relevant to the support team, if they are, in this case, primarily working with Zendesk. And then we'll create this organization. So now one of the other things we can do before we move forward is we'll take a user and associate a user, and we'll take an existing user and associate them with, or agent, and associate them with this particular organization. And the idea here would be so that we can we can use that agent to report tickets. So let's take Eric Diaz. And associate Eric with this new organization that we've created. Okay. So now we create a ticket, and what we're simulating here is that someone from Acme Soft is reporting a problem. So, or in this case, again, the idea of initiating an SLA review. Initiate SLA review from Zendesk agent, just to distinguish between those. So let's say that it's a task. It has a date, priority, normal, assignee is Sanjeev Math, and implementation, so services, okay, and there's some description. So we've created a case. So very independently, I mean, account in Salesforce, a case from Salesforce, a ticket from Zendesk. And if you were to go back to that account, for example, and you were to look at the wiki page that we had created in Confluence itself, you will see all of this information starting to come together. So here's the account, again, that we showed you with the description, address information, the action item, pending to do from Salesforce. And now here's the reported ticket from Zendesk. And this is the description and origin, et cetera, all the different attributes that we want to capture. Here's the reported case from Salesforce. So now you're seeing information related to support coming from two different hosted applications into a single page. And another thing to point out here is that these pages are templated so that they're very highly customizable. The type of information you want to see here, type of information related to an account, and any support activities you want to share with others across the organization is really up to you. And it's very easy to modify these templates. Each one of these tables, for example, represents queries that you can do to retrieve any information that is contextual that is being captured across these applications themselves. One of the other things we can do here, as we had talked about in the context of creating new action items, so if a customer is reported, logged, if there's a ticket logged for a particular customer in Zendesk, you can also from here just create a JIRA, a bug, for example. So here you'll see that we have launched JIRA issue creation, and automatically the summary is pulled in. We can associate a date, with it. We can assign it to someone, put a release against it if there were any project releases for that particular project. But you'll see that even JIRA has now the awareness of the ticket itself. So from here, the issue is automatically linked back to that particular ticket that came from Zendesk. So now there's actually a JIRA bug initiated, or any other task issue type, if you will, very easily configurable. But here's a bug. Bug is linked back to the ticket. And then if you were to go back here and refresh the page, you will see that. You will see that here's a ticket. There's actually a JIRA related issue, related JIRA issue, and then any other information about that particular issue that you want to capture, so that you can track both of these things together without having to manually go back and forth between Zendesk and JIRA to see how resolution of any particular ticket is reported by a customer is happening internally. And finally, just to kind of close this out in terms of the full scenario, you can come back here within Salesforce, and if you were to refresh it, again, you see the JIRA task, any to-do items, but you will also see Zendesk tickets within Salesforce and any related JIRA issues related to that particular ticket. So this pretty much closes the loop. As you can see, we started with Salesforce. We created an account and contact and case information from within Salesforce. We go to Zendesk. We go and actually create a ticket there. We're operating within Confluence at the organization level because engineering and services and other operational side of the organization have a wiki page where they can continue to track what's happening with that particular account. They can also capture notes and add additional information that may be only relevant internally and not necessarily within the context of either Salesforce or Zendesk. And then finally, anyone who is still continuing to access account information within Salesforce can see all of the information that matters to them. How is this account doing? What are the outstanding issues? For example, what is the resolution? What can be communicated to the customers at the account management level within the context of anything that they've reported or they've experienced? So I think that kind of closes out the cycle. Andrew, I will now give it back to you.
Great. Thank you, Sanjeev. So again, we were able to see how all the information was interoperable amongst the applications and tools. No matter what action Sanjeev took, the information was showing up within other tools as desired as well. And Confluence was being demonstrated, in effect, as a little bit of a dashboard. We didn't get into some of the more granular detail around reports and dashboards and search, but we can do that in one-on-one demos for you if you want as well. I'd like to wrap it up. A couple more slides. So in summary, Wikidsmart is the only platform that can contextually integrate content from any software engineering tool or application. We guarantee traceability, interoperability, federated search, and reporting across all of this content. So it's a really fantastic solution for all teams, in particular cross-functional teams, to achieve customer onboarding, case management, and more with the interoperability amongst all these tools and applications. So, how to get started and how can Zagile help? Well, again, this is all free and open source, so you can download it and use it at zagile.com. There's also online documentation to kind of coach you through how to get things set up and configured. If you want to go faster and farther, Zagile can help. So in these several ways. Number one, we can offer support subscriptions. So annual support subscriptions are really about securing your project and making sure that it's running at peak performance. So if you want to have best practices and tricks of the trade and go faster, we can help you there. Likewise, on the services side, if you want to get up and running within days or weeks instead of maybe, if you were to do it yourself, maybe it would take some more weeks just because of the focus maybe that your organization needs to have on the real core business. We can come in there and actually start off with a jump start or a proof of concept only in a matter of several days. That will give you a feeling as to how Wikidsmart can really add a lot of efficiency to your environment. And then once you see it within your own environment, you can make the decision to go forward as well. And also I want to point out with respect to new connectors, you might have different applications or tools in-house that you want to connect. You can either create connectors for those, or we can assist you in building those as well. So anything that you want to do as far as extending the system for your environment today or tomorrow, Zagile can help. So that concludes the webinar. We thank you very much for your time. We invite you again to go to zagile.com to download and engage us with questions if you would like at info@zagile.com. Thank you very much.